Get started. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon or morning, depending on where you are in the country. My name is John Behrens. I'm the product manager on the taxation list for Cengage, and I'd like to welcome you to our product showcase today to CengageNOW V2, as well as some of our new tax form problems. I would also like to congratulate you on a belated Happy Tax Day. Hope everybody is not too tired from doing too much over the weekend. My mother-in-law is a tax attorney, and I asked him if he was going to be super busy over the weekend, and he said, "Oh, with filing extensions for people." So I thought that was pretty funny. So a brief look at the agenda this afternoon. Get some introductions. And then we're going to do a demonstration of CengageNOW V2, which is our online learning solution, including tax form problems that are automatically graded in CengageNOW V2. Before we get into that, I'd like to tell you just a little bit about some of our service offerings with Cengage. We have a new program called a Partnership Pledge, where we will provide additional support to you for your courses. I'll get into that in too much depth, but if you have other questions later on, we can answer those or refer to your learning consultant or your sales rep. We also have an organization called the Digital Solutions Coordinators with Cengage, and this is a group of people that will actually set your course up for you in CengageNOW if you're interested in doing that, and can do any troubleshooting, any customization, etc. To make you aware of that before we got into the product. This is a fairly informal thing. If you have any questions at any time, please feel free to ask. Any feedback, any comments, that's why we're here. We'd love to hear that from you. I think we have a nice sized group today, around between 5 to 7 people, and it should be a good dialogue. Just so you can put a face to name, that's me, John Behrens, the product manager on tax. I also work on intermediate accounting. Our marketing manager is Nate Anderson. Nate is on spring break with his family this week, so he will not be joining us. And we're very fortunate at Cengage to have Shunda Ware with us. Cengage is somewhat unique in that we have been hiring actual faculty members to be full-time employees. So they can provide, obviously an instructor's perspective on our product development. And Shunda is actually also currently teaching, and she's going to walk you through CengageNOW V2 and talk a little bit about her course and how she uses the resources within it. Shunda, would you like any other introductions?
You did a wonderful job.
Before we get into CengageNOW itself, I want to just mention our taxation list at Cengage. Our flagship franchise is the Southwestern Federal Taxation Series. We have 4 volumes: Individual Income Taxes, Corporations, Partnerships, Estates, and Trusts is the 2nd volume. The Pensive volume is the biggest book that we have. It includes almost all the chapters from Volume 1 and Volume 2, with some more changes. And then Volume 4 is Essentials. It includes content for individuals as well as business entities, but it's a briefer volume, typically intended to be used in a one-term course. We also offer a book called Income Tax Fundamentals. This is very much a forms-based approach, typically used at 2-year schools for students who may go on to be tax preparers primarily. And then we also offer Concepts in Federal Taxation, which is certainly less forms-based and more conceptual, as well as the Federal Tax Research text. 4 of the products that are shown here, displayed with their book covers, offer CengageNOW V2 and online homework with automatic grading and feedback for students. So this is just a screenshot of CNOW V2 and some of the content sources from our Southwestern Federal Taxation Individual Income Taxes product. There's a variety of resources, and if I were to click in any one of these, you would see literally hundreds of different activities but Shunda's going to walk you through them. And here is a screenshot of one of our tax form problems. These are actual IRS tax forms that we have taken and digitized so they can be graded automatically and provide feedback to the students. So what I'm going to do now is exit and stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to turn this over to Shunda so he can do that, and I'm going to make Shunda the presenter. So one moment, please. You should have control.
Thank God. Hello, everyone. I would like to start off today by first thanking you for allowing us to have some of your time today to show you some of the great features we have in CengageNOW V2, especially the ones that are specific to tax. What I'd like to start off with is showing you one of our problem types and some of the features that go along with some homework problems within the system. As you see in this problem, the students are required to access the student deduction table. And if they click here, it automatically takes them to the portion of the ebook that has the student deduction table. And in this question, they're required to use the rate schedule. By clicking here, it brings up the tax rate schedule. And they have access to the full ebook here. Students really like this because, especially if you're using this comprehensive volume, it can be a little thick, and they aren't required to carry the book around, and they basically have access to their homework and can do their homework when they have time, and not specifically if they have the physical textbook with them. And we found that, as you probably already know, students, as you're going through a question in class, a problem, it makes complete sense to them, and that's simply because you know what you're doing. When at home, they're like, I don't understand, I forgot what my professor said. We actually created what we call Show Me How videos, and they're embedded in the problems within V2, which allows the students, so if it's 11 o'clock at night and they're doing their homework, it actually allows the students to,
Bear single and provides more than 50% support for his dependents. Bear provides that Gordon single and provides more than 50% of the support of Rose, Chloe, and Jordan. We're also given the income and expenses information of Gordon for year one. Using this information, we are required to compute year one tax liability.
I am now going to turn this off. But as you can see, students can actually use this to complete their homework problems, and that will help with questions that you actually receive the next day, or I wasn't able to complete my homework, because they actually have a step-by-step guide for homework. And the Show Me How video does not necessarily give them an exact replica of the question. It gives them a similar type of question with different numeric amounts, but it still forces them to think their way through the actual question, because we're not giving them a step-by-step of how to do it, so it's not necessarily this monkey see, monkey do type of situation. And so the students actually like it because it still helps them along in the process, but it still forces them to actually think their way through the problem. Here we have our Check My Work feature. Check My Work feature is completely controlled by you as the faculty member, so you can decide whether or not the students have access to Check My Work and how many times they're allowed to check their work.
Shunda, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm not seeing your screen right now. I'm just seeing what appears to be your desktop. That's better.
I put screens on me.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Sorry, everyone. So here is the Check My Work button here. It gives the students immediate feedback. So as they're actually doing their homework, they're still in the learning process, and they don't necessarily have to stop and send an email and wait for a response. It gives them this immediate feedback so they can continue on with their learning process. So those are the features that I would like to show you for the homework problems. We do have algorithmic versions, and there are at least 15 problems per chapter that have an algorithmic version tied to it. So you have concerns with cheating or whatever, or you want your students to have more time to practice, opportunities to practice a problem, you can assign an algorithmic version, and they can continue to get different numeric amounts and try to master the problem. Any questions about the problems or any things that you would like us to talk about, more details? Okay. So next thing I would like to show you is unique to Swift, and it's called TAC drills. They basically test the students on the key concepts, applications within the chapter. 5 questions per learning objective. You can use them as maybe a pre-class assignment that requires the students to complete them before they come to class, or as a way for students to get additional practice before they take tests. They're assignable and gradable, so you have the liberty to use them as you would like in your class. And I'm just going to click through a few so you can see the variety of the types of questions. So this one covers rules for standard deduction, personal exemptions, dependency exemptions, dependency tests. And so as you see, you go down, and a learning objective in the chapter is covered. So it gives a good variety for the students to learn these concepts. And it actually has a matching section that covers all the key terms in that chapter. The option to email you as an instructor. You can shut this off if you would like, but the option is there. The next thing I would like to show you is what we call our Roger CPA review. So with the Roger CPA review, these are actual questions that came from the Roger review. It's about 5 to 6 per chapter. And this gives the students, if your students are studying or preparing for the CPA, this gives them a good opportunity to have some exposure to what actual CPA questions would look like. Not too many that it would be overwhelming for the students. This also is assignable and gradable, so you can incorporate it into your course as you would like. Have these great things that I love and they're the what-if question types. And the what-if questions allow students to develop a deeper understanding of content in the chapter, so it focus more on those critical thinking skills that employers are saying that students are missing when they come into the workforce. And they're challenged to know the prior knowledge. So if I'm on Chapter 3, I still have to understand 1 and 2 in order to complete my what-if statements and my what-if problems within Chapter 3. So it continues to build on one another and helps to avoid the memorize it for one chapter and don't think about it again that some students have. So you can see there are different types. You hear 15, so you have a good mix of them that you can assign to students you like. It tells you exactly which learning objective is covered. And these are also assignable and gradable. And we also have the wonderful tax form problems that we have developed, and they are a hit with faculty because they no longer have to manually grade manual tax forms. So this gives the students an opportunity to experience completing a manual tax form without the requirement of grading tax form manually. And so, as we see here, this one, I'm going to give it a little more space here. This 40 already comes with these base fields completed, but as we scroll down, you see the students are required to enter in the amounts just as they would on a paper tax form. They're able to see the questions and the data points as they're completing it, so they're not scrolling up and down trying to complete these. They have both of them open in our multi-panel view at a time, and they complete them and submit it for grading. The system would automatically grade it, automatically give the students feedback if you allow for them to have feedback. And it can also get the post-submission feedback, which is after submitting an assignment, they receive even more extensive feedback explaining why their answers were incorrect. And so this allows the students to not necessarily have to wait until the assignment is graded. They get this immediate feedback, they understand, and they're explained to what they actually got incorrect or got correct. You're able to see this. Also, you can use them in class, you can assign them. Some faculty members say they actually use some of the larger ones as class projects for the students. This problem actually requires a Schedule A, and you hear the Schedule A looks exactly like the Schedule A you would download on the IRS website. This is a short problem. What I would like to do is show you one of our longer problems that from chapter 13, so you can see how one of the longer problems end up taking a lot of time to grade. So in this one, the students are required to complete a 1040, Schedule A, B, C, D, Form 8949. As you can see, the list goes on. So traditionally, we as faculty would have to manually grade each one of these forms and worksheets and schedules, but not anymore because we have solved that problem for you. So here, once again, they have the 1040, Schedule A, which you've already seen, Schedule B, in ordinary dividends, profit and loss of business. As you see, the list goes on, and the student has to fill out every single one of these and submit it. The system automatically grades it, gives them feedback, and you're able to see what the students did incorrectly or correctly, and you can tailor your lecture to whatever needs additional explanation without you having to spend an entire weekend reading papers. Any questions about the tax form problems? What do you think about them? Anyone have any comments about the tax form problem?
I do. This is Norma. I have been using Cengage, and I use the forms, but I grade them manually. How do you set up the points? Are they automatic? How do they take off for those? I would be interested to see how that actually works.
Okay, the way it works is you set up the amount that each question is worth, and the system base it based on how many blanks and what the student has to enter in. So it may be on this one 50 items that the student has to complete. So the system assigns the tokens or the point based on, you may say this problem is worth 10 points. And so it would allocate those 10 points to those 50 items.
Okay, so you can assign individually if you're more interested in particular items. They're going to be prorated?
No, currently it does not allow you to remove items. That is something that is on our digital list of things we would like to upgrade, but currently you're not allowed to assign only portions of specific problem.
That was my question. I was saying that if you put 50 points on there and there are 50 items, you're going to put 1 point per blank. Is that what it's going to do?
Yes.
Okay. Some things are more important than others.
Yes. That's correct, right? Because we're not using the tokens for this one.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah. But that's something we may want to put on the list, John, because it's a good point that some items are more important than others. Thank you for that. Yeah. Anything else? Any other questions? Anything else you would like to see on the tax forms? Do you have anything you'd like to ask?
No. This comment is helpful.
Okay, great. And I have one other feature that I would like to show you. This is the adaptive study plan. The study plan. The students have, it comes with ebook, practice quizzes, crossword puzzle, glossary, and flashcards. But it's designed to help give students additional support and to help prepare them for the exams. I don't want to look at chapter 1. Let's go back. Look at chapter 5. Okay. So here we progress bar, and it goes green or red. So once I complete the quiz, I master one of the learning objectives, it will tell me it will turn green, and the one I do not master will be red. And when I retake the quiz, it will have tested out of any of the learning objectives that are green, so I no longer receive questions about it, and the quiz focuses on the items that I still need to master. So I'm going to just pick some I'm actually not reading so that we can see how it actually works. So I just picked answers. When I submit, so it tells me here that 1 of 6, 1 of 2. But look here, it tells me that I'm wrong. It tells the correct answer is, and it also tells me why I got the question incorrect. And so as the students are going through this, they're actually able to see, okay, this is what I should have done, and this is how it actually works. So when they're presented with another type of question similar to this one, they understand what errors they made and they're able to correct them, and they're continuing the learning process as they go through this study plan. And based on my performance, I would get a suggested study plan. It's basically going to give me everything because I did not master anything. And it's going to still give me all of the learning. So if I had passed anything, it would have turned green. And the students have the option, after they have completed, to actually take another quiz. And this is also assignable and gradable. Faculty members use it in many different ways. Some of them use it as a pre-class assignment to ensure that the students have actually at least engaged with the material prior to coming to class. Some use it as a practice that students have and is optional, and some use it as an assignment that's required as a review before a quiz. But since it's assignable and gradable, you have the option to use it as you would like. And the students actually get a progress report. And so if I had taken this more than once, I would see multiple takes, and it would tell me each time how I've progressed through the actual learning objectives and whether or not I'm improving as I go or I'm not improving. This is a good tool for students because they get that immediate feedback and they can continue taking the quiz because the quizzes are set up in pools by learning objectives and not get the same questions over and over again. And it keeps narrowing them down until they get to the point where they've mastered all of the concepts. Any questions about the adaptive study plan? Do you have anything that you would like to add?
Would you mind showing the How to Use CengageNOW V2 briefly?
Okay, definitely.
Thank you.
We have this How to Use CengageNOW V2 assignment that, of course, is assignable and gradable, and the student, you can assign it for students and require them to watch it. So it gives them a walkthrough of how to use the system, and you don't, as faculty, you don't have to spend a class period trying to walk the students through how to use the product.
Or you could go through it for the first, 20 minutes of your class, something like that.
Online learning tool for accounting and tax. This web-based solution allows you to complete your homework online, receive instant feedback, access your e-reader, and take advantage of study resources to focus your efforts where you most need help.
And so, as you see, it walks the students through C2 and how to use it, and gives them just short questions to answer, and videos shows them how to take complete assignments or take a test, and then this explains the Check My Work feedback feature for the students. Sorry, John, you were saying something.
No, that's great. I was just saying, this is also an opportunity to show these videos, like for the first, minutes of class. So everybody's on the same page, and you can see expectations of what students are supposed to do with the system.
So any thoughts? Anyone have any suggestions or things that they would like to see changed or features that you would like to see added to CengageNOW V2?
I have a question. I've been using the online. My class is 100% online, so I use it a lot. But I'm on Blackboard, and I transfer the scores from their homework to by printing them out. And when I print the scores, the last 4 or 5 people do not print, and it doesn't matter how many people I have in the class. It's the same. I have to write those out manually. There's a glitch somewhere.
Okay, thank you for letting us know that, Norma. That's Norma, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. I will own a ticket, and I need a little more information from you, so
Okay.
I will send you an email. You know, we'll probably need like your course key or something to attempt to replicate it.
Oh, very good.
Thank you.
And Norma, do you know that you can also integrate CNOW V2 within Blackboard so you don't have to manually
Yeah. I know I would rather do it because I like to look at them and bring them over, and sometimes I adjust them and whatnot.
Okay.
And we're also going away from Blackboard in the next 6 months here.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure that you knew you had that option.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay, this is Bob Martin. Does it integrate with other online forms? Like we have D2L.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
One thing that we're working on for the 18 edition is to, back to tax forms, is to also create underlying documents. So rather than just have students look at a data set related to on a W-2, we are actually now creating forms W-2, forms 1099, div and int, interest. So we're trying to expand that. I don't know if I'm intrigued by whether that's useful or not for those who are using the tax forms option right now.
I think that's great. I'm using the fundamentals. I've been using that for years, but they have put a little bit of that in there, and I always appreciate that because students need to see that. You can tell them, but it's so much easier if they see it and know which line to pick things up from. And I'd like to see even like the Social Security statements and those types of things that are there. The 1099s, yeah.
Great.
98.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Anyone else have any questions? Anything else that you would like to see? Okay, I'll take this. I'm sorry?
I said no, very helpful.
Okay, great. Thank you. John, anything else you would like to add?
No, I would just like to thank all of you for your time today. If you do have questions, you can email me, you can email Shunda. Our email addresses are firstname.lastname at cengage.com, so john.behrens@cengage.com. And we can also connect you with your learning consultant if you have any other questions as well. So thank you all very much. We appreciate your time and your comments, extremely helpful. We wish you well in your continuing courses, and have a great day. Everybody, goodbye.
Thank
Thank you.